Hey, and welcome to my Any% The Machine speedrun. So yeah, this is a really I'm really happy with this one, and especially like for the 14th attempt, like this is more than I hoped for. And also here, like the first trick, you already saw a little cutscene skip, so you can skip that cutscene by just going to the forum and re-entering the world. Usually you're locked in place during that cutscene in particular, so you can't move or do anything else until Ulrika is done talking. But yeah, if you just go to the forum and you're like getting caught on the leaves, that happens a couple times more in this world for some reason. But yeah, so in this cutscene in particular, you can't move. In this one, you could, like you saw, I just moved there to the end, even though Ulrika was talking. But yeah, in the initial one, for some reason, you just can't move. I don't really know why. And I don't know if it was already during the playtest, maybe though. Like, I wouldn't remember.
Brilliant.
And yeah, this was really clean. And I actually, slight optimization in the previous level that I did is I broke one wire first and then dropped the pickaxe, because if you don't do that, the wire sort of breaks the clockwise, I guess, but you want to move around the thing counterclockwise, so it's kind of awkward to get enough wire if you do it the other way around. And yeah, split off, not really much to talk about. And also no sloppiness there, I think. I didn't notice anything at least.
Well done. Just one more to go. Feel free to skip a
little. Yeah, that was actually kind of well done. You're correct, Ulrika. Yeah, here this is a little bit sloppy. I tried to place the wire at the wrong block for some reason, and that sort of threw me off. And getting caught on the leaves again as well.
Fantastic. You have enough redstone wires to open the gate to the castle. In there.
By the way, wouldn't you say redstone wire rather than wires? Like, that sounds a little bit weird. Feels like it shouldn't have a multiple. I don't know though. And yeah, the overworld movement there was, I think, pretty optimal. I don't think there's like a better route you could take, but maybe I'm wrong. Like, I didn't investigate too much. But yeah, essentially the order I'm collecting the wire. And here I'm just throwing the pickaxe as I'm walking over it. It doesn't matter if you don't pick up everything, because like you need to go back anyways. And here I'm sort of a little bit like, it threw me off that I misplaced one wire there, or placed it in a different order than I meant to. So yeah, it's a little bit sloppiness. I looked around a little bit weird there. And here I think it's quicker to just reset rather than breaking the blocks and going around all the way. So that's what I'm doing. I just reset the hub world after I get the pickaxe, so that, and I think that saves a little bit of time. And here coming up is the first major skip of this one. And this is actually kind of hard, like these jumps that you have to do here. So this is a 4-block jump, so it's hard. And then these corner jumps are also not that easy. But it's actually also it sounds way worse than it actually is. Like, this is the 14th attempt and I'm doing this flawlessly here. So once you have a little bit of practice, it's not that bad anymore. But yeah, when you don't have the practice, then it can be a little bit frustrating, I guess. And I think I lost 7 minutes in my first attempts on that split. And here I'm a little bit excited that it went so well in Lacobis, so I'm missing that jump for some reason, even though it's super easy. So a little bit of sloppiness there, wasting, I don't know, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, maybe. And here you have to pay attention so that you don't fall down. It's kind of the way this roof is shaped is kind of weird, so it's kind of easy to fall down there. But yeah, that's the second major skip, and yeah, I like there's like one kind of smaller skip coming up still, but no entire hub world anymore. And here I'm like, I didn't really look at the block correctly, I guess, so it threw me off a little bit. And also slight movement optimization, you just start moving while the boomerang is coming back to you.
I see you already entered Iokusan.
And that's
You're doing
like
great.
general
We'll shoot
like
together
boomerang
with the
stats, I
finishing
guess.
machine. I'll be away for some.
Yeah, and here I'm kind of like I have the here I have the second slot selected, but the block lands on the third slot, so a little bit of time wasted here to select the correct slot after I'm done waiting. And then the throw, I wasn't very sure that this throw was actually good enough, but it was. It's kind of more luck in that case. Like the throw was kind of bad that I did there, but it ended up working out. And yeah, by the way, it's consistent. The block will always land on the third slot. It's just like it's not that I got bad luck and it landed in the wrong slot. It's actually 100% consistent, and I just messed up. Yeah, this is like, I guess, the biggest flaw of this one yet. Yeah, it looks like the minecart should hit the trigger, but it, like, for some reason it's like a little bit shy. So yeah, yeah. Minecarts can just troll you sometimes, I guess. Okay, here I also like I guess I got a new mouse, so, and I have actually it's not a new mouse, it's just a mouse that I started using again because my old one, like the Scolby, is broken and it's really bad for running this. But yeah, anyway, so I have like additional mouse buttons on that one, which I'm not used to having. So I started like using it for the second hotbar slot, for example. And there, like, I couldn't do that, and I just, in this one, this is the first time I'm using this mouse, so I'm just so used to, and to think about using that, and here, that's, like, the one of the biggest mistakes of this one, and I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But yeah, so I'm, like, focused on using, like, the new mouse button, but, yeah, in that case, like, I should have just shift-clicked and dealt with the boomerang being in the 8th slot instead of the 2nd, and then just, like, scrolled there when I needed to use it, but yeah, for some reason I didn't. And here, yeah, you saw me die there to the void. And the thing that I try to optimize there is, like, boomerang throws. By the way, that grass in front of the... Like, you have to be really careful with that grass, otherwise you will misplace the torch. So take half a second there to place it, and yeah, and here I sort of forgot about the cutscene skip again, and I forgot that I needed, like, that there was a unskippable cutscene, or technically it's skippable, I guess, with this trick, but yeah. And he also slight mess up here. I wasn't supposed to collect that wire already. I'm supposed to collect that on the way back, just because the movement would be a little bit better, because I'm basically walking over it here a second time anyway, so just going straight for the wire I collected second in this one would be more optimal. But yeah, it's kind of more natural to just go forward when you enter the level, so that's what I did there. And before I continue talking about boomerang stuff, here, that's like another kind of skip, so you can, usually you're supposed to have like 6 wire there, but you can do it with 5 if you stand on the plate and reset it. And here I forgot another skip. So you're supposed to like land on the little wall on the inner side there and break the block, because you can go backwards in the level and get the block with the boomerang from there, because the wall is actually not solid, even though it looks that way from that side. There are stair blocks there, so the boomerang can go through the stair blocks and you can actually pick up the block through the wall, so you don't need to use the minecart as I'm doing as a backup in this one. By the way, I have no idea what these stairs are for. Like, this, what I'm doing here seems to be the intended stairs, as far as I can tell. So yeah, these stairs are kind of unnecessary. I don't know why they are there. But yeah, anyway, boomerang. So yeah, I'm trying to optimize not throwing the boomerang as much, because just standing there and waiting for it to come back feels slow. But you can, like, in that level in particular, I think it doesn't really lose time. I think you can just throw it there and already start moving towards the way you want to move, and I think it should actually save time using the boomerang there, rather than trying to throw the torch in a way where you don't need to throw the boomerang. Like, I think you should just use the boomerang there. Okay, so I think I'm done. Oh yeah, cutscene skips. I think it would actually be more optimal to not go to the forum here. I think it would be better to travel to a different hub world and back, which also works for the cutscene skip. And I meant to do it here, but I somehow forgot it in like both cutscene skips where it would have been relevant. You can't do it in Agartha because you don't have any other hub world unlocked yet. But for these you can do it. And here's the second major mistake, where the gate just, or I guess the pressure plate just trolled me a little bit there. And yeah, really what you should do, so you should throw the wire like this and hope that it lands, and if it doesn't, you should, like, as I'm doing there, you should like look at the arc, and only when it looks like it should hit, you should go for it.
Hi, I'm back.
And I don't think that
Made it
should
already to
really
Luzon?
lose any time.
Fantastic. This is the place
So
where
yeah,
I've always
that's
got
how
the
you should
resources
prevent
from.
that, I think. Yeah, this level, I think, well, I like, once you practice, you can't really mess this one up anyway, so there isn't really a way this can go wrong, I think. I mean, there are ways it can go wrong when you're, like, bad. And yeah, by the way, moving minecarts is, and also like the hint book there on the 9th slot says that it's way easier when you sneak while doing it.
I know you can't
So just
help
hold
me,
shift
but
while
was
moving the
somebody
minecart,
here when I
and
was away?
it's
I
really easy.
noticed some strange particles on the air at Ioki's.
At least that is when it's like not on a rail. When it's on a rail, it is better to not sneak because it's quicker. And here again, like some boomerang stuff where like I'm trying to throw the block as fast so that I can just pick it up and don't need to use the boomerang. But I think it's actually also in this case it would be better to just throw the boomerang right away and already start moving towards the ladder. I think that should be more optimal, and you shouldn't try to not use the boomerang. And especially here where I'm also now going to jump down to throw the block over, you should just throw the block in the pit. I'm not sure why I didn't think of that, but just throw the block in the pit and then go down here, and then you don't even need to throw it between the fences. Just throw it in the pit and then grab it with the boomerang while already moving towards the ladder and maybe already starting going up. Like, you need to, I'm not sure how far you can actually go,
You seem to be pretty calm.
because like
Maybe
if it
from
hits a
somebody
wall
else
it
that
won't
visited
work,
you?
of course.
Maybe him?
Oh yeah, and also Spiel mit Stil suggested to not do the level I just did, but XOR gate. And I think XOR gate isn't unlocked yet. So, yeah, at least I didn't see it. Maybe I missed it somewhere, but I don't think so. But yeah, it only occurred to me that he meant like that level when I was like in a 1, so I didn't really check again. But yeah, I think XOR gate isn't unlocked, and here like the torch told me a little bit, but I didn't trust it, so I didn't start moving and figured out that the torch isn't actually on the plate after moving the minecart. Also, I have an empty slot selected here. That's intentional, because you will spam right click in order to enter the minecart at a certain point. And if you have the boomerang selected, you may throw the boomerang, which doesn't sound like it would do anything bad. But there was one where it hit the torch on the pressure plate, and okay, here also slight mess up in the movement. Like you're supposed to, of course, go around the pillars, and you can't go through where the walls are. It's like it looks like you should be able to fit, but you can't. You're like slightly too right, I guess. What was I saying? Yeah, so the boomerang hit the torch, which sounds like it should be good because you want it to hit the torch anyway, but in that particular one it like it hit the torch right as, and there's like a slight video glitch there for some reason, it hit the torch right as the minecart arrived there, so the minecart didn't come back. And by the way, this, like the way I'm doing, oh yeah, and here also, you want to land like on the rim in front of the wall and then just go around the wall, so that you don't have to do as I do in this one in particular, so that you don't have to go all the way up the stairs again. So that's also a bigger mistake, which loses probably, would estimate maybe like 20 seconds, or maybe 15, I don't know. But yeah, you're not supposed to place the pressure plate there. But yeah, I never did that, like not even in my first playtest run. You're supposed to use the minecart you see on the right there with the chest. And here I was still holding shift, so I couldn't enter the minecart. Like usually when you want to place a block or open a chest and you hold shift, it doesn't work because oh no, actually placing blocks does work, but like opening chests, like block interactions are disabled when holding shift, so that you can place blocks against it. But apparently also you can't interact with entities, like right click interactions, which doesn't really seem like it should be a thing, or it doesn't, like, it didn't occur to me before, but yeah, like, and that messed me up there, so I couldn't enter the minecart. And I think I was saying something before, which I sort of interrupted now, but
Fantastic. You're not
like, by the way, this jump down here is really fun.
Break the pistons behind
Oh yeah, you're supposed to use the chest minecart. I think I finished with that though. And yeah, I never did that, not even in my first, like, I never used that, I never even touched that chest minecart. I never even landed on the rail there. Never when playing this map. Here I sort of lost track where I was going and took a little detour. So yeah, I think there's not much to say here. I think these first levels all, like, there's not really much that can go wrong, I guess. Slight improvement, place the torch before the piston so that you can place the piston underneath you while it's going up. You also could technically do that in the main, in the hub world puzzle of this world, but like, I'm not doing it. I don't really know why, but it like doesn't seem very natural to me. Here I thought of this like right at this moment in this one that, oh wait, why don't I just continue placing wire so I don't have to run back as far. They slightly messed it up there, so like the second wire was like one block too far, I guess. But yeah, that would also be like a micro improvement to just continue placing the wire until you run out.
To be honest, I still think about these strange particles in the air at Eoclis.
Okay, so in this particular one I do a different set of levels, and I'm not doing eye contact anymore. And I'm actually not convinced that this is the correct decision. I think it might be better to skip reversing the level that I'm doing right now instead, because moving the redstone block is kind of slow and also kind of awkward. Like you have to like break and place fire so that it actually points into the piston. And here, like I did like a little bit of a weird thing as well, which kind of threw me off while I was doing it. I think it might actually be more optimal, but I wasn't really planning on doing it, and it just sort of happened. And here I'm moving so slow, by the way, because you need to sneak in order to fit underneath the wall. It's like a 1.5 block gap, so you can't fit normally. And here, like, slight sloppy placement of the yellow wire, but it's fine. But yeah, I think eye contact could potentially be, like, it's close. It's really hard to estimate, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah, it just can also really troll you. In this one it didn't. In this one, like, everything went well. But it can really troll you. And by the way, also slight optimization, place the piston like that after the first piston already moved. Otherwise you need to like move with more stuff around and it's slower. But what can happen is that once you like move the block up here, you just miss the jump because the walls are really in the way here. I don't know why they're even there. Like, they're just there to troll you, I think. I think Schwimmitz just had a bad day when he made this level, and so he added the walls. But yeah, like, and when that happens, you need to do the entire setup again because you can't get up on the block anymore. And here also, it's like optimization, like break the wire, then while you have collected some, start placing it already while it's still breaking, and then like pick up all the rest. And here I'm doing the same. By the way, I'm like picking up almost all the wire here. You shouldn't do that. I think you probably should skip more. Like you have like 6 extra in total. At least if you really optimize it. Like, there's a danger with going with 6 fewer. It's a little bit more risky, and I'll say that in a bit. So what I'm doing in this one is I'm placing an additional wire on this side and then the torch. You could place the torch on the wall next to the wire as well and then break it again, but it can happen that it lands on the wrong side of the wall then, so it's a little bit risky to do that. But if you would really optimize it and really grind it out, you probably would go for that in order to skip placing the extra wire, which probably, yeah, I mean, it would save a little bit of time, like, but like on this level it's not worth it. Here, slight order optimization, place the upwards facing piston first and then do the sideways one. And I'll say in a bit why that's better. So because now, if you needed the upwards facing, now you would need to break and replace the already existing piston, and now you can just reuse it. And you shouldn't break the piston and the torch, only like the one piston, but not the other piston and not the torch for optimization. I'm not sure why I did it in this one. It's not like a huge deal, like it's like it breaks really quickly, but still. And here I'm a little bit thrown off because I'm not used, like, this is I think the first one where I'm doing this set of levels, or maybe it's the second. I think it's the second actually, where I'm doing this set of levels instead of eye contact, so I'm not used to having to collect this set of wires, and I think like my overworld movement was a little bit bad there and could be optimized a little bit. And here go white first, grab the block, then grab the second block, and then go up. Like, it's really tempting to just go left, because left is where one of the blocks is, and is also where you need to go up. But yeah, there's a block on the right as well, so you need to go white first, which is a little bit annoying and counterintuitive. Yeah, misplaced one of the wires there. Slight mistake, but not a big deal. And I mean, slight mistakes like this, I think you can't avoid in anyone. Like, you can't play 100%, it's impossible. But yeah, there were some bigger mistakes. I think we had all of the bigger mistakes. I think you saw all of them already. I think other, like, the one is really clean. Yeah, like, the Pale Nexus is coming up and then the boss fight, and there was like one slight, I guess this is also slight sloppiness, but it's fine. But there's like something that I would actually call a mistake rather than sloppiness in the boss fight. So stay tuned, I guess.
Oh good, you're here. Just a few more tiles, and I can open the portal to the machine for you. I count on you.
And yeah, like the first level in here is also evil. I don't think I did this first try in any one that got this far. So yeah, here I have like a little bit of a weird downwards angle, and I didn't trust it, it looked bad. I already know. Like, the angle and the position you had, and this looked good, and I trusted it, and it worked out. But like the angle and position you need to have in order to to throw this block is actually stupidly precise. And here I'm just looking at my other screen and not paying attention where I'm running. But yeah, it's actually stupidly precise to make this block throw, and you have to really pay attention, and pay attention to both your position and your facing angle in order for it to work out. Yeah, and here I think there's nothing really special to talk about, just like standard kind of solve. So here actually... oh wait, yeah, no, never mind, I'm not at that point yet. One thing to pay attention here, and I'm explicitly doing it, is that you actually hit the torch. And that you make sure that... and it was very quick here, but I actually consciously paid attention that I hit the torch hitbox rather than not the torch hitbox, because when you miss the torch, what can happen is that you accidentally break the piston behind. And then you need to like do the entire setup again, so you need to move the piston into position again, like you saw at the very start here. So yeah, that's something to pay attention to. And here also you want to like place the first block and the piston, then move the first block and then place the second block. Oh yeah, and I think I didn't really talk about that in the Lunaria hub world. So slight optimization here, so I broke the block that I was facing first, and now on the way back I'm breaking the piston, because I'm facing that way anyway. And a similar thing when you like move the block into the wall in the Lunaria hub world. I did a very similar thing where I broke the block inside of the wall, then jumped up, grabbed the block on the other side, and then went back and grabbed the block that I broke before, which I didn't pick up before, and broke the piston because I was facing the piston. Yeah, here slight... I slightly forgot where I was going, and I did it again, where like it's optimal to go this route, and then I placed the piston wrong a couple times, but third time's a charm, and sure enough. And then this minecart can really troll you, so you want to leave right at the second to last power trail here, and then it will land in a sort of decent spot consistently. It can happen that it goes too far and then you can't really move it onto the rail again. Yeah, and then it just falls down and you need to redo it. If that's an issue for you, you could also bring the piston and the torch up and place the like, and
Great.
when the minecart
Sounds
falls down, you
wonderful.
can place the piston below the block and move it up with the torch again. And that way, like, the torch will be, the block will be blocking the minecart, so that it
Thank you.
can't fall down and it will just be
With
stopped
your
by the
help,
block.
I was finally able to activate
So yeah,
the
if that
piston again.
becomes an issue for you,
Now,
I success
nothing.
doing that, but like what I
Within a
did
few
here is
seconds,
like the most
Dragon
optimal way.
machine will tear it completely apart, and all of the void will be free.
Yeah.
I was really way too small.
Yeah, and you can't place the
Just to kick
piston
this off
from below
and let a little slave do all of the work for
at
me.
that height
is
facing
clear.
upwards. So you would
this
need to do
world,
it from above, so
yours,
it would
and the
guarantee
entire
that you need to
universe.
do 2 minecart rides
Now,
if with that backup.
run.
But so yeah, I'm
alive.
usually not trying to break the piston and the torch, because like when that happens, like it's sort of bad already. And yeah, it seems to be really consistent when like paying attention, consciously paying attention when you leave the minecart and not like being brain AFK, then you then it is really consistent. And here,
Let the floor be void.
this still sometimes happens to me. And you place the torch against the lamp. Here, very nice, while falling down, placing the block and landing on it and then doing the jump. That fails often, so I'm happy I got that minor improvement here. And here also slight optimization. You actually only need to use 2 of the repeaters. And that's like these 2. You don't need to use any of the others.
Floor be void.
So yeah, this is the quickest way to do this. And here I got a little bit unlucky with the face, because it's really hard to see what you're doing with the fire. And it's also really easy to accidentally step into the water, which luckily didn't happen this one. Because you literally can't see. And yeah, of course in a speedrun you don't want to wait for it to go away. And you just want to tank the damage as much as you can.
Henchmen of the void.
And here is like the mess up in the boss fight I talked about. So throwing this torch can be stupidly annoying for some reason. Like you need to time your throw so that you're actually up enough, and you also need a kind of good angle and apparently also position. Like I moved slightly there and then it worked. And yeah, I failed that way too often here, so that's like also kind of an annoying mistake to have in this one. But yeah, overall this is I'm really happy with this one. Here also break the piston and the torch before you go up.
Floor be void.
And then do this when you're down again. And here like I tried to optimize my health a little bit by like wanting to place the piston where it's supposed to go, and then also place the wire from up there, but I couldn't. Like I tried to place the wire, but it didn't work because the tripwire was blocking me. Like the hitbox of the tripwire was blocking me, so I couldn't place the wire. And yeah, this like just while Eureka is trying to kill you, just ignore her, place the torch, don't stop moving, and place the piston underneath of you. And just go up. It's free. It's basically free. Like if you need to think about it and you stop moving for some reason, then it can be an issue, I think, because then you get hit too many times. So if you're like forget what you're doing, just default to running around in a circle like a, I don't know, like a chicken or something, I don't know. And yeah, and you'll be fine. Like there's nothing can go wrong basically. And like I never failed this. And here I'm doing some post commentary in chat, and yeah, I think I'm done with running this. Like there's definitely like now is basically where the grind would start. So I think this is like the first decently good one, and now improving it, this is where like the grind would start. And like for 14 attempts I'm really happy with this. Like, I was aiming for sub 40, and I actually did get a sub 40 before this, like it was a 38, but there was like some major mistakes there and I wasn't really happy with the one, and now I just got a low 33. So yeah, I'm really happy with this.